It is Monday, December the 19th. The holidays fast approaching. What a great week it will be to make a little bit of extra cash, make Christmas a little bit brighter for your kids or for yourself if you don't have kids. Never a better time to start than tonight. 5 NBA games on the slate. We'll be involved in 3 of them. Let's get to them now quickly, starting in Indiana, where the Pacers host the Washington Wizards. Indiana, a 5.5-point favorite at BetSafe, 212.5 the total in this game. Now, at first glance, this number might seem a little big. After all, the Wizards have been playing some good basketball lately. They've won 3 straight games and 5 of 6. But you know what? You look at this a little closer. I think this is a tough spot for the Wizards. First off, this is the second night of a back-to-back for them. They just played yesterday, beating the Clippers 117-110. They have not been very good in this spot this season, just 1-4 in 5 games when it's been the second night of a back-to-back. And we mentioned this game in Indiana. The Wizards have been a bad road team, just 2-8 on the road this season. The Pacers, meanwhile, have been good at home, 10-4 at home. They have won 4 straight home games. Coming off a 15-point win in Detroit on Saturday night, the Pacers have been playing some pretty good basketball lately, still a couple of games better than the Wizards in the standings. And I think we're going to continue to see that over the year. I think the Pacers just a little bit better than this Washington team. Indiana very balanced, a lot of ways they can hurt you. We know they're led by Paul George, but they're balanced offensively, and they play pretty good defense as well, and that's something we cannot say about Washington. Even in their recent run of success here, they have not been playing good defense. They have surrendered 105 points or more in 5 straight games. Again, second night of a back-to-back here, going on the road to face the Pacers. Tough spot for them. I think Indiana wins and covers the 5.5-point number. Moving on now to Chicago, where the Bulls host the Detroit Pistons. Chicago, a 3-point favorite at BetSafe, 195.5 the total. Now, both these teams have been struggling a bit. Detroit has been blown out in back-to-back games. The Bulls, meanwhile, have lost 3 straight and 6 of 8. And, you know, you look at this thing, I think the rot in Chicago runs a little bit deeper than what we're seeing in Detroit. After all, prior to the Pistons' last 2 games, they had been playing pretty well. They were 6-3 in their previous 9. After their most recent loss on Saturday night, they called a players-only meeting for 45 minutes, so we know they're going to try to get this thing turned around. You look at the Bulls, boy, they really look like a sinking ship right now. They've been the worst team in the NBA to back over the last 2+ weeks. Just 1-7 against the spread in their last 8 games. They've really fallen apart offensively. They've only scored 100 points twice in their last 8 games. Just 69 in their last game, an ugly loss to Milwaukee on Friday. 69 points against the Bucks. Now, if you've been struggling offensively, Detroit is not the team you want to see. The Pistons, one of the better defensive teams in the NBA, they rank 3rd in the league in points allowed, surrendering just 96.9 per game. And they've been good on the road lately. They've won 5 of their past 7 road games. I think they are a good bet to go into Chicago and continue the Bulls' misery. I think the Pistons win outright. I like them +3 in Chicago tonight. Final game I'm involved in on this Monday, December the 19th. What about the Dallas Mavericks going on the road to face the Denver Nuggets? The Nugs, an 8.5-point favorite at BetSafe, 203 the total in this game. Now look, I think everybody has written off Dallas at this point. They've just grouped them in with the sad sack teams of the league, especially since Dirk Nowitzki's gone down. I mean, they've been starting a rookie in Dorian Finney-Smith in Nowitzki's spot, a guy who wasn't even drafted and might be better served in the D-League at this point in his career. Anyway, Dallas has been a mess, we know, for the past several weeks. However, if you haven't been paying attention, you might not realize they've quietly started playing some pretty good basketball here over these past several days, 10 to 12 days. The Mavs 3-3 in their last 6 games, 4-2 against the number, coming off a blowout win over Sacramento. They beat the Kings 99-79. Now, that was yesterday, so the second night of a back-to-back for Dallas. Still, though, coming off a 20-point win, and their game previous to that on Friday night, they went on the road to face a very good Utah team and nearly beat the Jazz, lost 103-100. Now facing Denver, the Nugs, an odd team, you know, very hot and cold, very streaky offensively. Sometimes they can really fall asleep on offense. They lack a go-to scorer. Wilson Chandler leads them in scoring, followed by Danilo Gallinari. Neither one of those guys are players that you would call go-to scorers at the NBA level. And the Mavericks do play pretty good defense. They're 5th in the NBA in points allowed, one of only 5 teams league-wide to surrender fewer than 100 points per game. Denver, meanwhile, does not play good defense. The Nugs, 26th in points allowed, only 4 teams allowing more points than Denver's 109.4. Now look, Denver has won 2 in a row and 3 of 4, and like we mentioned, this is the second night of a back-to-back for the Mavs. That's why you see Denver as an 8.5-point favorite here. But what we've seen out of Dallas lately, they've sort of turned a new leaf, playing very hard. We know they play pretty good defense. We know the Nugs very hot and cold offensively, and we know they're always cold defensively. They just don't defend anybody. I think 8.5, too many points here. I think Dallas keeps this one close. I like the Mavs plus 8.5 there. There you have it. Those are my thoughts on this Monday, December the 19th. I like the Indiana Pacers as a 5.5-point home favorite over the Washington Wizards. I like Detroit plus 3 on the road in Chicago, and I like the Dallas Mavericks plus 8.5 in Denver. Folks, I wish you best of luck no matter what you decide to do on this Monday night, just so long as your interests don't conflict with my interests. Enjoy the games.